I've done it again. I've come back to the unit and I have forgotten the GoPro. So I've just come from work. I'm going to be doing a couple of little bits on the Ranger this evening. So I'm just going to jump right into it. It's very cold up here. It's currently snowing outside. I'm mad for being up here, but I mean you can't really see. It's not settling. So I think I'll be okay. So we're up here, it's like 1 degree. It's literally freezing. I'm in shorts and a hoodie. But yeah, we're gonna have a look at this fuel system. So weren't aware that's what was in the car before. So basically it's copper fuel lines that run through the car, and they're covered in this hose, and they go from that bulkhead there, run through the car, under the carpets, and they come through front bulkhead down there. Alright, so the way they were done was, obviously this copper pipe I've bent up. This is new stuff. And it was sort of ran through the car, and then it was ran through a small hole there and sort of covered in sealant, which I weren't too much of a fan of, right? You know, it was safe, it was okay. I mean, the pipe itself had gone green, which obviously, if you know, copper does when it corrodes. So I have bought some bulkhead fittings, supposedly like motorsport bulkhead fittings. And yeah, they were off eBay, and they'll just obviously sandwich between that bulkhead, and yeah, I can put hose on either side. The hose on the inside of the car will go straight onto the copper pipe, and the hose on the other side will go straight up to the fuel tank. So I'm going to get some gloves on and see what the bulkhead fittings are like. Right, so I've just banged one of the bulkhead fittings in there. Got my piece of hose, so obviously the hose is just going to slide down the pipe, and then it will sit on the bulkhead fitting. Alright, something like that. Okay, so it'll just be a small piece of rubber to join the copper pipe where it runs through the car. I probably will flare the end of this copper pipe just so that the hose clamp's got something to sort of bite into as a fail-safe so don't slip off. So yeah, that's kind of the idea behind that. And once I've got the setup sort of figured out of how it's going to go, I will be mounting this copper hardline properly. I'm going to sleeve it in a few places with some old hose, and then I'm going to put P-clips around it and secure it to the floor. So it'll be secure, it'll be wrapped through the P-clips so it won't rub through, and I'm also going to paint this pipe. I don't know if you will have seen, but a lot of like factory brake pipes will be painted, and obviously they tend to last a fairly long time. You know, they're not dreadful. So yeah, that's my idea. I'm going to paint that, wrap it in some hose in a few places, P-clip it to the floor, flare the ends so the hose can't come off, and yeah, and then probably just a little bit of sealant around those bulkhead fittings just to make sure it's weatherproof and water can't get in the car. So again, I don't have the GoPro, I don't have the head mounts, so it's going to be really hard to try and film, so I will probably just work and then show you. So pretty much we've got bulkhead fitting in, sealed, hose, copper pipe, and that's how I'm going to be doing the P-clips, but obviously we're going to paint this copper pipe. So yeah, that's kind of what it's going to look like. I guess I'm probably going to head home now because I mean the weather is kind of getting a bit rough out there, so I'm going to pack up, head home, and then we will pick this back up when I come back and carry on. So let's cut to that. So I'm back, day number 2. Still forgot the GoPro, still on my phone. I've just popped the front bulkhead fitting in, sort of. I can't get to both sides of it to tighten it up, so it's as tight as I can get it, just on one side of the car. And yeah, we're gonna take a look. So that's what we're working with. So you got the bulkhead fitting where it comes through, a little bit of hose, and then onto the copper pipe there. So convenient little tab there, which that kind of just hooks on. Gonna have some P-clips, and I'm gonna paint this obviously. So there you go. So that'll be one complete fuel line. Like I say, I've just got to sort the P-clips out wherever they're gonna go. Then we're gonna prime the pipe, paint the pipe, and we can get final fit for this side. So yeah, I'm happy with that. That'll be that, and then we'll be starting on the other side. So yeah, I don't know how far I'm going to get tonight. Maybe I will figure out where my P-clips are going to go, and then see if I can get this pipe in primer. I was going to brush paint it in like black hammerite, because it's a bit thicker, and I think it will just stand the test of time a bit better than like black, body spray paint and that. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna give it some primer, and then we'll brush some hammerite on when I get some hammerite. I don't think it's here. We had it when Teresa's bread van was here. Oh, it is here, right at the back of the shelf. So I do have hammerite. I'm just gonna have to find some way of painting the pipe and putting it somewhere where it's not going to touch anything with wet paint. So yeah, I'm still waiting for the new P-clips to arrive, so I can't really get like a final fit. The hose clamps that I need I've got here, so that's fine. Yeah, I think we will go and figure out some P-clips, and then yeah, maybe get some paint on it. But yeah, other than that, pretty happy with how this side's going. So obviously, like I say, that's going to run underneath the carpet, and I think that'll sort of give it the longest life that I can give it, by painting it and only having a very minute piece of hose. Obviously, I'll make sure to check the hose periodically. We only use Gates fuel hose. That's all we've ever used on all 3 of the Polos, and it's really good stuff. It stays flexible for longer. It doesn't break down as quickly, and it's E5 fuel safe. So yeah, that's what we use. I just buy it off eBay, but yeah, I ordered 3 meters of it to do this job, and so far I've used 20 centimeters, maybe, not a lot. So yeah, that's where it comes out down there. It's probably gonna be hard for you to see, just behind the steering arm back there. So that's where it comes through. I would have preferred right angle ones because of the steering arm, but I think if I run the hose underneath the steering arm, I will be fine. Obviously, it's run over the top at the minute. I don't necessarily like that too much, but then it's just sort of a massive bird's nest of shit here. So I'm probably going to reroute this whole sort of assembly when I replace it all. Yeah, it's probably going to go down somewhere. I think, one of the jobs on the list is to sort of tidy the... So yeah, I guess I can factor that in while I'm doing that. Maybe I'll run that along the chassis leg and up, I'm not sure. Yet to figure out, I think. But yeah, I mean, bottom line is, I'm closer than I was when I got here to having this car running. I just need to wait till the weekend when Patrice is here so we can tighten the bulkhead fittings up properly. I've still got to bend the copper up for the other side and get that in shape and get the bulkhead fittings in on that side. But yeah, hopefully finish the fuel lines inside the car, replace the fuel lines at the back underneath the car. Again, let's have a nosy. So this is the fuel pump that was on the car. It's a facet fuel pump, self-regulating 3 to 5 psi. But I think I'm going to sack that off. I mean, one of the rubber bushes is fucked. But yeah, I think I'm going to sack that off. I have got a brand new Peerberg fuel pump that I bought for the coupe when I was doing the bike carb conversion, and it just, you know, never worked out on the car. So that there is where you can see the bulkhead fittings come through. I did burn some of the wax off the other day. I had the heat gun going on the inside of the car just to dry a bit of paint that I put on there. So I need to sort of recoat that. But yeah, it's not bad under here, you know. Nice, like, other than the horrible looking rusty exhaust. You know, freshly painted rear beam, painted fuel tank. And sort of above all this is nicely red paint as well. So I'm gonna redo the wiring under here for the fuel pump, because that's asking for trouble. That is, and I really can't be bothered to be led on the side of a road fixing that. So I think to like an actual plug on that fuel pump connection, you know, a weather tight super seal plug. With the Peerberg pump, I think, I can't remember where I've put that. It's kicking about somewhere. But yeah, so new fuel pump wiring, new fuel lines underneath the car at the back, all new fuel lines inside the car, new fuel lines in the engine bay, and then, touch wood, we should be very, very close to having this car running.
No, you're lying. You're lying. What makes you lie?
The only other things I need to do before actually we're able to turn the key and start the car is... Where are we at? So, finish fuel lines, fuel pump, clean the carb. I just need to whip some carb cleaner through the jets. We have had it running before, so I know it does run. Engine service, so oil filter, spark plugs. It's got a cool K&N filter on top. It's a Weber carb. It's got I don't know, it looks American. But yeah, nice K&N. I got a friend that works at Ram Air, and he'd hate me if I showed him that. So yeah, we can clean the jets out, get that up and going. What else? I need to torque the camshaft sprocket and replace the rubbers on the rocker cover. But yeah, that's pretty much it, and then it'll be running. So, and charge the battery. I think then once we have the running car, and I'm happy, I've checked all the fuel lines and everything, the interior can then go back in the car. And then, I mean, there's still a fair few jobs on there. But, I mean, as we're plugging through these jobs, I'm like, oh, it's going to be running, and the interior's going to be back in it. And then, you know, before long, I think the car will be in a position where it could be on the road, so fingers crossed. But yeah, that's probably, I might just tinker about, like I say, figuring out P-clip placing and maybe get some paint on this pipe before I go home. But yeah, I think I'll probably stop filming now, get on and do some work. But yeah, hopefully next time you see me, it will be with a nice painted pipe in the car with all the hose clips on, and this side at least will be complete. And then we can start on the other side. So, see you at the weekend, I guess. Right, so I don't know what day I was on. I'm sure it was last week, but yeah, I was doing the fuel pipe. So, fuel pipe is now finished this side. I have to excuse my mess of shit inside the car because I've been quite busy. There is one completed fuel pipe, plumbed up, ready to go. Yeah, we finished that. We started to have a look at the headlining sagging, although we haven't finished that. So we were looking into that anyway, and when we were in there we noticed, so we were in there doing the headlining, then we took the rear bumper off to pop the little clips back in, the slider clips on the side of the car, to help sort of fix the bumper on so it doesn't vibrate around. When we were doing that, we found a little patch of rust sort of coming through the metal, so it was in this corner here. So let's have some light. So yeah, I just sort of rubbed that down, treated the rust, new seam sealer, and a bit of paint. So yeah, that was that job. Found that we couldn't really do anything with the bumper as yet. I've got to take the bumper apart because one of the bumper mounts is loose. It's supposed to have like a captive bolt in there, but it's not captive anymore. So that's this one down here. And then yeah, I came up this week, Wednesday night, I think, and got a couple of bits done. What did I do Wednesday night? I fitted the driver's side track rod. What else did I do? There's something else. What did I do? Can't remember. I did the offside track rods. Oh, I started painting the bonnet stay, rubbing that down and painting that, and there was another job as well. I can't remember what. Anyway, I've been plugging through some work. Last night I came up here. I was sort of looking at the list, and I was like, well, I could carry on with the other fuel pipe, and but I thought, no, I'm going to do something a bit different. So last night I started tackling the rear brake pipes. So I got the old one out. I got a new one made up. I've just got to reflare one end of the new brake pipe, and then I can fit the new brake pipe for this side. And then it's on to the brake pipe for the other side of the axle, which is the longer one. So yeah, been a very long time since I've done anything with brake pipes. So sort of getting my head around doing that again. But yeah, I'm going to put some gloves on and reflare this end and get this pipe refitted, and then I'll show you the new brake pipe. Right, so after some battling, the brake pipe is in. I have no idea whether that's going to leak or not, but until I can bleed it with Patrice, I have no idea. Bottom line is, I have an brake pipe. Now I've got to do it all over again. Right, I can't remember where I got to last time. I'm pretty sure I was doing brake pipes, which I did finish on the rear axle. Didn't film the end of that it was really fucking annoying, and I didn't enjoy that very much, so I finished the brake pipes. What have I done since then? I've changed the sump gasket, so I set the sump off. To get the sump off, I had to take the exhaust manifold off. To get the exhaust manifold off, I had to take the radiator out, which exposed the radiator. Was a bit worse for wear. So we went ahead and ordered a new radiator, and this is sort of where the car's at. We have one radiator, which we've got a new one, manifold, which Patrice has been trying to clean up and make look good. I found some corrosion down there, so I've treated that and just give it a coat of paint. What else are we doing? I've just got the thing in primer, so we're redoing that, repainting that black. So yeah, so I can't put any of that back together, however, because in the background I have been fucking around with this gearbox trying to get it to stop leaking oil, which, see how well that's going. It's still leaking. Now, yeah, I don't know, I was going to film this as a separate, I was going to film the gearbox as a separate video, however, I haven't brought my GoPro again, so I'm going to have a go now. I don't have an engine crane or anything down here, but I'm going to try and take the gearbox out with the engine in situ. So I need to jack the car up, move the axle stands from where they currently are. I can then take the anti-roll bar off, which means I can get my drive shafts out, disconnect the clutch cable, gearbox mounts and everything, jack the engine up so that's being held by the jack, and then should be able to take the gearbox out. Give me a bit of pain in the ass. I've never done one on one of these cars before. So yeah, and also much more of a pain in the ass trying to do it with it in the car. So I'll show you where it's leaking, and then yeah, we'll go from there and I'll get to work. Obviously I won't be able to film most of taking the gearbox out. I might be able to film bits here and there, but yeah, my bad for not bringing the GoPro. So unless you see an outro now, I'm going to take the gearbox out. Oh, quickly, I'll show you. So, there's our gearbox. I've tried all manner of sealants and God knows what else, and it still persists to leak. So, yeah, that's leaking from where the two halves of the gearbox sandwiched together. So yeah, I'm gonna have to remove the gearbox and then split the gearbox casing and replace the gasket or reseal the box. So, as I was saying, unless you see an outro now, I'm going to take a gearbox out of a Polo. Right, so last night I got most of the stuff off I needed to get the gearbox out. Tonight I've come back down, I'm taking the gear linkage off, start the motor out. Put a jack underneath, support the engine, and then mounts off and gearbox off. So there we go, gearbox is out of the car. So yeah, interesting. First time for me taking a gearbox out of one of these. I didn't have too much fun. Yeah, it wasn't awful. Just a bit awkward to do by yourself. But yeah. So bottom line is, gearbox is out. Yeah, now I've just got to take it to work at some point, clean it, degrease it, jet wash it off, make it look tidy, order parts for it, split the casing down, and yeah, go from there. So I'm going to round out this episode here. It's been a bit all over the place, and I haven't had the head cam, so it's just been a bit shit. It's on my phone. So yeah, apologies for the sort of low effort, but I am absolutely fucking mashed. Busy at work and then just coming straight here and smashing jobs out on this, so hopefully once this is fixed and back in the car, I'll feel like we're sort of past that last big hurdle, and obviously the fuel system. Once those two bits are out of the way, I think we're on the downhill slope to the finish line with this car, so gearbox is my priority now. But yeah, it's out. So thank you for watching if you stayed to the end of this. As I say, apologies for the video being all over the place and probably poor quality, but I will try and remember to... I'll try and remember to wear the head cam at least for when we do the gearbox strip down, and you know, make a decent video on that, stripping down and resealing the gearbox. So keep an eye out for that one. I'm going to head off now, and what time is it? 5:45. Earn myself an early night. Got to go to the shops on the way home, go home, eat dinner, shower, go to bed. Thanks for watching. Till next time.